Hello, good day. Um, Welcome to another tutorial. So from last time we talked about from the last video we talked about candle patterns and how to interpret the candle patterns, how to trade them. So today we are going to be looking at another aspect of trading or technical analysis. Ideally, what we're trading is price. We're not trading in, indicators or whatever fancy thing we have on our chart. But sometimes indicators do help us maybe stay in a trade longer or exit a trade that we had already planned, of which is not going to work out. So today we're going to be looking at the first indicator. The first indicator we have on our chart is called the moving average. Well, that indicator can be found in under where you press this F sign here. You go here, you press main charts, and you look at it. You see the moving average. That's what we are going to be using. Now, if I press this moving average, we'll have this is what's going to pop. We have different kinds of moving average. Down here, you can see we have the simple, we have the exponential, we have the smooth, we have the lightweight. Well, for me, I can't say one is better than the other. The exponential is faster than the simple moving average, so it tends to change quickly or quicker than the simple moving average, or basically they are almost the same thing. But aside that, what we're concerned with is just one moving average. When price is above that moving average, we'll continue to buy order flow changes to the upside. If we are below that moving average, we'll continue to buy order flow changes to the downside. It's as simple as that. No need for us to be having multiple moving averages. Well, people do have multiple moving averages on their chart, and they say it helps them. I say, okay, fine, no problem. So long as you can interpret what you're seeing on the chart, you can use as much as you like. How many moving averages you prefer? But for me, I prefer just one moving average. I like seeing my chart so I can see what I'm looking at. So here you see beneath it you see style. Here this is where you can increase the thickness of the moving average. Well, you can increase it. I choose 2. If I choose 3, it's going to be deeper and thicker. So, but let's just say we choose 2, and here you press here. You see color. Choose any color you want, and you press done. When you press done, you see now on my chart now, and I have a line. Now, what the moving average is, as it implies, is the average price for a specified period of time. For example, if you look at it, we chose the 20 period moving average. It means it's going to calculate the price, the high and the low, or the close of each candle of the last 20 candle, and it's going to aggregate it for you and show you that line. So you don't need to bother yourself with the details, and you also set it to close. When you press it, you will see different options. You can choose to put the moving average to. You see open, close, high, low, median price, typical price, weighted low, weighted close, and previous indicators data. So you can see, you can apply it to plenty things, but I'm not interested in that. What I'm interested in is just the close. So it's going to calculate the moving average. It's going to calculate the average for the previous 20 candles. So it doesn't matter which time frame you put. This is the 4-hour time frame. If I move this down, say to the 1-hour time frame, I'm still going to see the same thing. But just that the levels will be different. It's going to calculate where it's going to calculate the average price of the last 20 periods on that time frame. So now we'll move on from that. So basically how I interpret this is simple. If we're above the moving average, like somewhere around here, once we're above the moving average, I'm interested in buying order flow changes to the upside. If we're below the moving average, I'm interested in selling other flow changes to the downside. So, all for example, at this point now, at where the cursor is, I think let me see if I can get my arrow. At this point where the cursor is, at this point here, where the cursor, where it is now, that's here. You see now we've closed below it. So all this while, I will mark my order flow levels. See, let me see if I can mark that. I'll mark my order flow levels as here now. So I'm interested in selling this to the downside. So long as we are below this moving average here, I'm only interested in selling to the downside. So we saw prices did come back. The close, in fact, it sold. This is the 4-hour candle, and this is for the pound versus the Canadian dollar, and it moved considerably about 80 points before this long spike. Before we saw long spike here, and thing came back up. All the while, price did not close above the moving average. Moreover, the order flow didn't even change to the upside all through this down move from last week. So that's how I use the moving average. If we're above the moving average, I want to continue to buy order flow changes to the upside and sell. If we're below the moving average, I want, like this example here, I want to sell order flow changes to the downside. So I'll just be marking the levels one after the other. So once that level breaks, I put a sell limit at that level. When price comes back there, it hits the level and it goes down, and that I expect it to go down to the nearest support or resistance levels. So basically that's how I use the moving average. So it's like a secondary tool that I have on my chart. So in case I missed the order flow change, when we're above the moving average, I'll be interested in buying the order flow change to the upside. If we're below, I'm interested in buying the order flow changes to the downside. So yes, now we'll add another indicator. When you press this panel here, this F panel on your phone, or if you're using a laptop, you will see it at the top. You right click on your screen, you see indicators, add new, then you click, then you see all the list of indicators that they have. So this indicator we just put on our chart, this moving average, is under trend. So now we're going to be looking at oscillators, and there are so many of them. We have the average true range, of which this in itself it's one of the most important indicators anyone could use. This average true range, it can say a lot, but that applies mostly to currencies, not to synthetic indices. So we have BS power, bull power, all those ones, commodity channel index, as CCI, DMACA, force index, MACD, momentum, moving average of oscillator, relative strength index, relative vigor index. You can plot these on your chart and you see how they all look. But for me, there's only one of them that I love the most, and that is called the stochastic oscillator. Actually, the one I love the most is called the stochastic momentum index. It's called SMI. It's not on MetaTrader 5, it's on MetaTrader 4, but it's custom made, so it's not you can't download it from the app. So it's either you download it from the web and you put it in your app, or maybe somebody sends it to you and you put it in your app. So that's the only way you can get it. So for me personally, sometimes I do have two different sets of oscillators on my chart. Now what this oscillator does is it gives the market a range. So people perceive this range to be something else. Now let me just press done so we can see how the oscillator looks. Then I can come back and explain what all these settings are here. Let me press done so you see it now. You see beneath down here is what the oscillator is and how it looks like. Now if you notice something, before I go back and to clarify the settings, if you notice something, when price is going higher, the oscillator is also going higher. When price is coming lower, the oscillator is going lower. Now there's a phenomenon called divergence. It means when price is going higher, the oscillator is going lower, or when price is going lower, the oscillator is going higher. It means that chances are there is no momentum to that down move, and that down move is most likely going to be a fake move, and there will be a chance, there is a likelihood of price changing direction to the direction that the indicator is pointing. So let me not sound so confusing to you, but back to the indicator. So as you can see, there is a range. You see this 90 level and 10 level. Those levels I chose to put them on my chart because those are extremes. Because for in forex, there is no such thing as overbought or oversold. So if somebody says it's overbought, a level is overbought, you sell, or a level is oversold, you buy. It's a wrong way to interpret indicator, and that is what a vast majority of people interpret indicator as, most especially oscillators. That when it's above 80 or 90, you sell. When it's below 10 or it's around 0, you buy. It doesn't work like that, but because there are some times, let me see if I can scroll and get that. For a very long period of time, for him, for example, now this is it. So you see all the way from here, from this point, down to this point, down here, all the while, it was above. So did it go down? No. So you don't want to buy when it's above this 90 level. You don't want to sell when it's above this 90 level and buy when it's below this 10 level, because some people call this, because if you even Google it, that's what you see. You see above 90 or 80 is overbought, then below 10 is oversold, or below 20 is oversold. So different people with their own different interpretation. But I think for me, the best way to interpret it is just easy for divergent purposes, and maybe just to add a confirmation to what you already know about price and everything. So now let's go to the settings of how I got that particular one. So for me, I use this the 21.5 period, 21k D, that's displacement 5, slow in 5, price field close/close. If you press there, you see low and high. So make sure you choose yours to be close/close. Method simple. You see exponential, smooth, lightweight. Don't bother yourself about all those. Just leave everything to be simple. Then your styles, you can choose whatever pixel you want. Just play with it, and so you get used to it. So here you see levels. Here you see 10 and 9. Let me reset this to default. There's a button here down. It says set to default. If I press it now, look at it. You see that everything changed. So now the percent K period is 5. The displacement period is 3. The slowing period is 3. Price feed low and high. Method is simple. Styles main 2. Signal 2 pixel. Levels, you see 0, 0, 20, 80. So if I press done, this is how it's going to look on my chart. You see, it's a lot messy. It will give you a whole lot of false signals and whatever. So I use a longer period for my stochastics. I use a longer period, say here, say 21 period. Move it back 5. Here you move it back, say 5. Price field, choose close/close. Then scroll down, pixel 2. You can leave it at that. Then levels, my levels are just, you can press levels and edit it. 90 and 10. You press, when you're done, you press done, and you press back, press done. Now look at how it is. It's a lot smoother now. It's not as jumpy as the previous one. So I have this indicator on my chart, and also now this indicator is a longer period, because this is like this is for 21 period. It's counting for 21 periods, so it's a longer period. Then I have another one. Sometimes I don't put it all the time, but sometimes I do put it. is the 5, the 8, and another oscillator also is the 85, I think 835, 835. Simple, simple, next, done. Now you see you got the 835. Now the 835 is this one below here. You see all the while where this one was just flattening out, the 835 was showing us signs of price flattening out, the price moving higher here, of which this one also did, but it was not as clear as this one. So now the phenomenon, while the reason why I have this indicator is not that I'm trading indicators per se. What I'm trading is price. I'm looking at support resistance levels and